The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the Royals Rundown podcast presented by Royals Review. I am Jacob Milham, one half of the team here, joined by my better half, Jeremy Greco. Jeremy, how we feeling today?
Happy opening day, Jacob.
Part 2? Because it feels like part 3 is tomorrow.
So Wednesday night was opening night.
Okay.
And this is opening day.
So
and
what's
tomorrow is we finally get to watch our team.
I guess. Gosh, dang it. This is a little frustrating.
Or today as you all are listening to this, hopefully.
I will say that, I've watched, we were watching a little bit of the Rays and Cardinals play earlier on. There is a different, just no matter what baseball game you're watching, there's a lot of a different weight when it comes to spring training versus, game 1 of 162, no matter who the team is. So it's been really, really fun. We will talk about the Netflix shenanigans from Wednesday night later on in the show. Plus, we got another game coming down the pipe. Jeremy will tell us a little bit more about that. And I got to say, we do have one more WBC thing to talk about.
I've written a game.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to debut it.
We did get some good responses on our last game. So folks, if you missed it on the last episode, we played a thing called Burn or Buy. Basically wanted to play a FMK version of Royals jerseys. And it was a little, we had some hiccups. It wasn't perfect, but I think it was pretty fun.
This is going to be the world debut of Royals bold predictions. And I already have some thoughts for how I want to change things for next year.
Okay.
But I've worked really hard to formalize this process. I've got a randomizer set up. I sent you all of our things, and we agreed that these were places that we could start from and work from. I've come up with a list of rules. I've got a Google form that I'm going to fill out the final details of so that we can have some audience participation.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to give away a $10 gift card to the best bold Royals predictor who listens to Royals Rundown. So stick around to find out how you can participate in that.
Absolutely. And folks, we put in all of our Pop-Tarts on this, okay? All of our Pop-Tarts in on this result, okay? I went down to the local bank and I said, what is the going exchange rate for Pop-Tarts to dollars? And it was pretty steep, I will say. I had to give up all my s'mores Pop-Tarts, but you know what? It was worth it for my cut, I will say.
And Jacob and I are playing for bragging rights.
Yeah, and a title.
And we agreed that whoever wins gets to be the resident ball knower for the entire off season. I mean, I'm already the resident ball knower, so I don't know why I'm I'm basically putting my title on the line, other than I'm not going to lose.
I'm the number one contender. Okay, you just put your title up online against the number one contender, and then whenever you lose, you're the number one contender. It just goes back and forth for however long this podcast runs along.
Hey, if this goes well, maybe next year we get more people involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, hey, folks, we got to jump right into it. We got a lot to talk about today. We do have two other points to talk about from the World Baseball Classic. One thing that we missed, and another thing that has concluded since we last recorded.
But it's all good this time.
Yeah, all good.
90% good. How about that? 90% good.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right. So, thing that happened since we recorded. That Team Italy espresso machine was up for auction, and the auction started on the 19th and it ended on the 23rd. That final auction, $16,510. Can you believe that, Jeremy? It's a lot of espresso.
Let me take you back in time to the day that this thing was put on auction, and one of our fellow Royals review writers, Sterling Ice, dropped in the chat, "Hey, Hakaias, you wanna bid on this thing?" And I went and looked at it. I'm like, I would put $100 on that, but I'm afraid it would be the winning bid. So clearly, I may know ball, but I don't know espresso machines.
Well, I don't know if it was the espresso machine itself or the story of it or just going to support a good charity. Vinny Pasquantino did tweet out that proceeds from the auction would go to Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, or SARC, which provides services for children, teens, and adults with autism. And he said that this was a group decision because the center has helped some people that are a part of our team.
Oh, well, how about it? It? If you're autistic, you can still play sports. Who knew? I've long been under the impression that if you had autism, you were a non-functional member of society and doomed to drain all the resources, and that's why we can't vaccinate against polio anymore.
Well, that is what some of the messaging will have you believe, Jeremy, but that is not always the case.
Okay, so I said there's 90% good news, and so the little tiny note of bad news that I want to throw on here is that why does anyone have $16,000 throw at an espresso machine that honestly I don't trust works anymore? You had 26 professional athlete young men messing with this thing in the dugout.
Yeah.
Do you really believe, like, I don't even know if it still works. I don't know, like, if you would want to use it, if it does work, because it's a collector's item now. Like, that is just a lot of money to put down on something that people probably won't remember existed in a year.
No, probably not.
I mean, I'll remember it existed, but a lot of people won't.
No. That will be a great conversation starter, won't it, though, Jeremy? Like, hey, why do you have an espresso machine with a bunch of numbers on it in a glass case? Like, why do you have
Because Team
that?
Italy in the WBC 2026 made it to the semifinals. Okay, that's all I needed to know. That's not much of a conversation, I'm afraid.
You can go from there. We got to build. We got to build on that, Jeremy.
If it is like, I'm so cynical sometimes, especially when it comes to large sums of money, that I have convinced myself that it's not even been purchased by a fan. It's been purchased by someone who believes they can turn it into some kind of marketing opportunity for their business or something. And it won't work that way. It won't do it. But if it's purchased by someone who truly loved everything Team Italy was about, that's super cool. Maybe one of the players did it. I mean, 16,000 probably doesn't mean much to, I mean, the minor leaguers it would, but to the major leaguers, no. And then they can have that in their trophy case and they can donate to a good cause. I don't know. That's why I'm like 90%. It's probably more appropriate to say 99% because I'm making the dark cloud here more than anything. But that I kept thinking, how do you have that much money to just spend on this espresso machine? And I pray that if we ever learn who bought this thing, that they at least know to call it an espresso machine and not an espresso machine, because that's one of those things that drives me absolutely batty, even though it does not matter.
I grew up saying espresso, and after I don't know how many times of Honey correcting me, it was espresso.
Yeah, I also had sherbet was this thing that I would say a lot. And, these are all things that drive me nuts now. And I try really hard not to be a grammar bully, but it is one of my greatest challenges in life.
Well, unfortunately, one of the greatest challenges that Team USA faced in the WBC was them actually leaving the field in a somewhat chipper mood and a somewhat sportsmanlike mood. But Jeremy, you pointed out that someone did from that team represent themselves in a classy fashion.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable to be disappointed, but there's no call for being an asshole at any point of this competition. And Bryce Harper, I think, showed up. I complained, that other teams were thanking their fans and being gracious when they lost. And then I didn't feel Team USA had done that, but Bryce Harper did. He made time after the ceremonies to go to Team Venezuela and congratulate them all on winning. And so as much as we complained about the things we didn't like that were happening with Team USA, I wanted to celebrate the one guy who I know did do something really super cool and showed up as a representative of the United States in a way that I would like my country to be represented by somebody who shakes the hand of somebody who beats us at a sporting event and says, good job.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think like that's one of those things that whatever the youth sport was deeply ingrained in that sport was always, no matter win, loss, you leave there with your head held high. If you lost, you learn your lessons. If you win, you don't gloat about it, but you always congratulate the other team on showing up, playing their best, hopefully. And it just, a lot of kids look up to these folks, right? And I'm not saying that at the end of every single game, folks got to get up and cross the field and bump each other's hands. But the opposite of that does not set a good example, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing youth sports, every basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever, every contest was finished with a handshake line with the opponent. And I've always found it very kind of weird in baseball that they have handshake lines, but only with their teammates.
Yeah.
I've always thought that was weird. I don't want to read anything into that. I just thought it was weird because in youth sports, I mean, I might slap hands with the teammate, I might bump fists, but it was required that I shake the hands of my opponents.
Right. So kudos to Harper. I know that he's not been baseball fans' favorite guy to watch play over the years.
If you give me a choice between someone who makes really weird health choices, like drinking raw milk and treats other people humanely, and someone who shows a lack of regard for other people, but makes normal health choices, I'm going to choose the first one.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. So, all right.
I would prefer someone who makes normal health choices and treats other people with respect, but we can't always have everything, I guess.
Well, I will say this. MLB made an abnormal health choice when they announced a multi-year partnership with AbbVie. Did you see that?
Yes.
The official pharmaceutical partner of the MLB beginning in 2026.
How many partners do we need?
I don't know. I really don't. We'll talk about the other two that made headlines this week. One good, one very bad. I do think it's cool here. Throughout the MLB season, AbbVie will donate $20 for every strikeout, up to a maximum donation of $1 million per season. It's like they're giving money. Cool. Could they give more? Yeah, sure. Obviously so.
The only reason they have that much money to give is because they're charging too much for their
correct
medicines. And if you go look at their Wikipedia page, they've been embroiled in multiple legal battles over how they deal with their money.
Exactly. From an MLB perspective, I don't know what they have to gain other than the donations.
I'm sure AbbVie is giving money directly to MLB also.
Probably so. But of course, MLB is not going to talk about that part, huh? Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
They don't need to. I think it's implicit in the partnership.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, let me say this here. The fun one out of these three, the Baja Blast partnership.
Yeah, baby.
I think that's fun.
You can sign up to get a free 20-ounce Baja Blast from either a ballpark, or you can do like a receipt exchange. I'm probably not going to bother with it because it seems like way too much effort for a free soda. But you can do that. And then if someone hits a home run over 420 feet, you can do that the next day.
Why that number? I said, why that number, huh?
Who knows?
It's a mystery. No, but I absolutely signed up for this. I'll be the plug. I signed up for it. It's like, cool.
I signed up for it. I can't be bothered to follow through beyond that. I don't know why I signed up for it.
Well, it's like what was it? What was the Royals promotion? It was like if they steal a base, you get a free taco. Is that what that was?
That was the World Series. That was the Taco Bell promotion.
Yeah.
2015, if someone steals a base in the World Series, then you can have free tacos from a certain period of time. The next day, you can get a free taco. And Lorenzo Cain, still second base, gave everyone free tacos.
So yeah, we love to see it. We love free stuff in 2026. I'll be a shill. I think the third one, we're gonna have a little bit more to say about that. So MLB named Polymarket their exclusive, that's important, their exclusive prediction market exchange partner. Now, if you are wondering what a prediction market exchange is,
It's gambling by another name.
It's gambling that doesn't fall underneath the sports umbrella. Like you can put money on a bevy of things on Polymarket.
In fact, how I know Polymarket is from insider trading, essentially, that was performed by people living in Washington, D.C. before we bombed Iran.
Yeah.
The markets just the market for betting that the U.S. would bomb Iran just exploded, and then the U.S. bombed Iran the next morning. So yeah, just this is a thing that you can gamble on, that one country will attack another, and you could do it with insider trading, and no one will stop you. And I don't like any of that.
It makes me feel a little uncomfortable, I will say. While in theory, I like the fact that it's not people gambling against the house, which the house always wins. Unfortunately, just betting in general has taken such a toll on, folks of all ages. We talk about the young people getting caught in by this, but like generations before have fallen into this trap, and it's only easier now. The thing about these prediction markets, right, is there's no federal rules on them, right? Sports betting explicitly is controlled by the states. Polymarket and these other prediction markets fall outside of that. So anyone from any state can hop on and engage in this behavior. It's designed to work like the stock market, but it's still gambling.
The stock market is also federally regulated. And by the way, that shows that the stock market is also gambling.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Always will be.
So, but I just remember, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but I saw that the CEO of Polymarket had said that insider trading was a good thing, actually, because then people could figure out that things were about to happen based on the insider trading. And I'm like, yeah. And they could figure out that a stock was about to blow up with insider trading there too. But by the time you figure it out, it's too late to do anything about it. That's why it's insider trading.
Right. So I feel a little uncomfortable about this. We will see how this develops.
I found some darkness in the charity. Let me find some light in this.
Okay.
Which is that in last night's opening night baseball game, directly behind home plate, couple of guys wearing fluorescent green T-shirts that said Kalshi on them, which is the direct competitor of Polymarket. And I'm sure MLB and Polymarket were hugely appreciative of the marketing performed there.
Oh yeah, because you don't get those seats and do that by accident.
We're going to evade regulations in our gambling. We'll also evade regulations or the norms. It's not really regulation. The norms of advertising.
Yeah. Hey, got to get creative about it in 2026. I will say that. Also, weird rant. I still use TikTok. I know it's got a lot of stuff against it, but holy smokes, like the amount of ads that I have been seeing from TikTok over like the past 2 weeks, I will say, and they stopped marking them as ads. Like they stopped doing that, which really grinds my gears. Have you noticed that, or was I?
I haven't been using TikTok very much lately, not for any particular reason. I just go through the phases of the moon, the phases of my TikTok use.
Yeah. All right, folks.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
Every day, the world gets a little weirder and a lot more awesome. Cool Stuff Daily takes a look at everything from mining in space to the latest in the fight against cancer to how AI is, basically changing everything. It's all the cool stuff you didn't know you needed to know. Join us for Cool Stuff Daily as we take a quick look at science, tech, and the wait, what stories that make you sound way smarter at dinner. Subscribe to Cool Stuff Daily now, because the future's happening fast, and it's way too fun to miss.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back at it. All righty, folks. Welcome back into the Royals Rundown podcast presented by Royals Review. Just a quick reminder to make sure you follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening at. It could be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. It all matters. Just make sure that you never miss another episode from us here because things are ramping up. The Royals start their season. By the time you're listening to this, they're starting it today, or they've already started it. So you're behind the 8 ball there. Unfortunately, the Royals starting their season also feels like they're behind the 8 ball. But that is because things got kicked off on Netflix. We had the MLB on Netflix. The New York Yankees routing the San Francisco Giants 7-0. Unfortunately, I was on duty. I was on the ship, so I didn't get a chance to watch the broadcast. Jeremy, but unfortunately, I haven't heard anything good about it. I haven't heard anything positive about it, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll give you a couple positive things if you
Okay.
like. It was Major League Baseball.
It was.
Regular season Major League Baseball. And I personally thought that the entrances onto the field. So what they did was when the Yankees entered the field, they had some taxis and they had some dancers dancing on the taxis. And then when the Giants came on the field, they had some what are those, trolleys or
Yeah.
streetcars, whatever.
Yeah.
And they had people dancing in those. And I'm like, all right, you got a little flavor from the cities. That's cool. I like that. Some people were like, over the top, blah, blah, blah. And I liked that they went out of their way to get a Yankees star, a former Yankees star, and a former Giants star in CC Sabathia and Hunter Pence to be in the broadcast booth for the game. I thought those were both good choices. Barry Bonds was part of the pregame show, which I didn't think Barry Bonds was willing to be around MLB, so they managed to get him to come do that. That's
I got the Netflix money.
Pretty cool get. Aaron Judge had a golden sombrero, so that's fun.
I saw his strikeouts. They were so bad.
The first one, oh my goodness, Aaron Judge. I mean, it was a good pitch from
Logan Webb.
Logan Webb. I'm always like, is it Brandon or Logan? I can never remember.
Nope, it's Brandon. It's Logan.
Yeah. And yeah, so that happened. But man, the video quality early on in the stream was awful. At one point, I just got kicked out of the app entirely in the middle of it. When you would click watch live, it would take you to the start of the stream instead of live. The score bug was so small, you could not read anything on it. They were people have talked about how some TV broadcast crews have turned sports into talk shows where sports are also happening, which I understand that transition. I see it. We've actually been invited to participate in something like that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why they think that's appealing, but it's not. I'm here to watch the sport. I'll do the talk show after. They had Jameis Winston for some reason, and the Netflix had it marked that the game started at 7, but that was when their pregame show started. And then the game was scheduled to start at 8, but didn't start until almost 8:30. This is Eastern time, by the way. The actual video quality was awful, such that like everything was so washed out. And then you could clearly see the Adobe CGI ad that they'd pasted over the backstop ad. But everything else was washed out and grainy. It was not a good broadcast, Jacob. It was pretty awful. I turned it off after a few innings because I was the Yankees were dominating, which I didn't appreciate either, but it was just not a good broadcast in any way. And I was seriously getting annoyed when it was like 8:10 and Bert Kreischer, who I enjoy as a comedian, is out here screaming about we're ready to play some baseball. Okay, so let's play. Nope, we got to do one more ceremonial thing. Got to do this thing over here. Got to get one more advertiser in.
Yeah. I heard there was a lot of Netflix self-plugs in it, which I get
There
it.
were so many.
I get it. Like that's the whole reason why they paid so much money to have the game, right?
They spent like 3 minutes during the pregame talking about the Stranger Things animated show, and they were like, "We have the bat in the stadium that he used in the show, and it's full of nails." And I'm like, "Yes, because none of us have ever seen a bat full of nails before. That's definitely not a thing that's just strewn throughout pop culture. And
Yeah.
isn't it so cool? I wouldn't try to hit a baseball with that. Well, maybe I would try and hit a baseball from a really good pitcher with it." And I'm just like, "What are you even saying right now?"
It
They
doesn't even make any
specifically named a
sense.
pitcher. I don't remember who it was, but they were like, yeah, I was just like, "What are you talking about?"
Jeez Louise. Well, I'm glad that that is behind us, I will say, and I'm glad that we're not going to be subject to watching that for the Royals and Braves kicking things off on Friday evening.
My understanding is that this is a deal Netflix has got where they get to do opening night, the home run derby, and one or two other things throughout the year, and it's
Interesting.
multiple years. So we're not done with Netflix entirely, but maybe they'll learn something from it. I doubt it, but
Hopefully.
maybe.
Well, only one way to find out, and that is to give them time. Now, something that I know our fans, Royals fans in general, have been pining for is broadcast details for this
Yes.
team, right? That has been some like on tweets, on article comments, whole shebang, been seeing it everywhere on, hey, where the heck can I watch the Royals? And I think that's a valid concern when we're staring down the pipe of like, hey, at the end of this week is opening day, and I don't have a way to watch or listen to the team. Like, what is up here? Jeremy, there's a lot of information here. But I will say this. One thing that I think folks need to know, if you are in the Royals territory, cheapest way to watch Royals games is the $99.99 Royals TV package. Okay, you get all the Royals games without the blackout subscriptions. You also get the minor league games, which I think is fun. I watch a lot of minor league games on the off days, and you can watch the Royals affiliates and things like that. Something I am a little not miffed about is that I thought when they were coming out with Royals TV, it would not be available outside of the Royals territory, but that is still an option. So you and me could watch the Royals blackout free for
Well,
that same price.
except I can't watch them if they're in Atlanta or Cincinnati. Like
For some
Atlanta, I
reason.
almost get because I'm not that far from Atlanta, but I am nowhere near Cincinnati. I
No.
do not understand. I'm closer to like Washington, D.C., I'm pretty sure, than Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I
I think
don't
so.
understand how these blackout things are. But yeah, if I paid for Royals TV, I wouldn't be able to watch those games there legally. Excuse me.
Legally.
So it kind of harkens back to a thing that they did a few years ago where you could buy single team packages. I did that one year, and then I was like, but sometimes I want to watch other games. And the single team package back then didn't come with the minor league teams. And
Mhm.
I don't watch a lot of minor league games, but I want to have the option, especially when there's a Jack Caglione down there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Tuning into a lot of those games last year. I do recall that.
So I got the regular MLB.TV. I had been under the impression that you couldn't get Royals.TV outside of the market either, but as best I can tell, I know that Matthew Lamar got this straight from the Royals that you can purchase it outside of the market. You will get blacked, like if you're in Seattle, you'll get blacked out of Seattle, but not anywhere any other Royals game you would still be able to watch.
Yeah.
And so that's how that all works. And I appreciate that this is the direction we're moving. Fingers crossed we're moving to in a direction where there are no blackouts within a couple of years.
Yeah. Hopefully so. So I know you sent me a Blue Sky article about like, hey, the Padres made their games readily available for fans to watch, and now they're about to sell for $3.5 billion.
Well, they didn't just make their games available for fans to watch. That article was actually about how the Padres went out and spent money to improve their roster and got fans to show up.
Sorry about that. I was confusing them.
Yeah, they spent money on their roster and got fans to show up, and they're about to sell their team for $3.5 billion, which is more than the Mets got when they sold.
Yeah.
Even though they're in a much larger market.
Absolutely.
It's almost like if you think long term and you think about providing a good product to your consumer instead of just providing value to your shareholders, then you can increase the value of your product and your property. It's so weird how that happens, that the long-term thinking can lead to long-term profits.
Mind blown.
But the baseball won't take any lessons from that. Don't worry.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. For the full list of satellite and cable carriers that Royals TV will be available on, I highly suggest you go check out the article on royalsreview.com from Matthew Lamar. He details everything that you need to know about how to watch and how to listen to the Royals this season, including all the extra little streaming subscriptions you will have to watch all 162 this year.
It is getting brutal out here, Jacob.
It is. It is. And, Ryan Lefebvre did allude to it that hopefully in the next couple of years, we'll get a little bit more centralized in the rights, and maybe
most, if not all of these national deals are supposed to run out in 28.
Yeah.
And the hope that people have been given kind of by insiders, or at least they claim is insider information, is that the league wants to do sell all the rights to one place and make it so that everybody can watch it.
I think that's the way to go.
Which would be an example of some long-term thinking. I'm just saying.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. All right. I do have to say that before we get to your prediction game, there is one other bit of Royals news to talk about. Well, we got the Storm Chasers roster, which I don't know if folks should be surprised by it. Go ahead.
Did you see the Storm Chasers got a new video board?
I saw that. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
Hell yeah, we're upgrading up there in Omaha, so go check it out if you're local. Only 3 outfielders on this first roster.
I know I said that the depth was bad for the outfield, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Apparently it's that bad. It's just Gavin Cross, Cameron Meisner, John Rave. That's it. So be prepared to see a lot of Gavin Cross up there in Omaha.
And
of course,
all 3 of those guys are guys that, if somebody gets hurt, you need to call one of those guys up.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of them are viable call-ups, but then somebody's got to play in the outfield. I guess at that point you just call someone from Wichita and chain it on down to wherever you find your next outfielder. But
exactly. West Arkansas. What are you talking about, Jeremy? We don't have the Wichita wind
I'm
surge.
I'm old.
Back
Wichita was the
day.
AA affiliate for most of my youth. Okay.
Fair enough.
And it's easier to say than Northwest Arkansas.
Yes, it is. It does roll off the tongue a lot better. I will say that. I was surprised to this infield is very veteran heavy, right? There's a lot of guys here with 5+ years of service.
Did Rojas go down?
Yeah.
Toro?
Yeah. Josh Rojas and Toro and Kevin Newman, Connor Kaiser, and Brandon Drury all on this first roster. Yeah.
I would have assumed that at least some of those guys would have found a way out of the organization.
Same here.
That's good for the Royals to have that kind of veteran depth down there.
Absolutely. And they have it behind the plate too in Elias Diaz and Eli Marrero. Both those guys are on the roster.
That's great.
Yep.
Elias Diaz had a really good spring. Is Luca Tresh on the AAA roster?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because those 2 guys had really good springs, and so having them in AAA, I feel a lot better than having Luke Maley.
Yeah,
probably. Sorry, Luke.
Same here.
I don't know what happened after you signed with the Royals and you couldn't show up to spring training. I wish you the best, but I don't hate having a little bit more youth or upside from the offensive upside of Elias Diaz. Probably you don't get there, but it doesn't exist with Luke Maley.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see here. So we do have a few transactions to talk about real quick. So Hector Neris out of the organization, Kyle Hayes, both of them are out of the organization after really down spring trainings for both of them. Also Drew Waters designated for assignment, so we'll see what happens with him. But who takes his place on the 40-man roster? None other than Eli Morgan, formerly of the Cleveland Guardians. I'm following the rabbit trail on this one. I think this is one of those Brian Sweeney relationship things because Morgan's best years came when Sweeney was in Cleveland. That lined up too well.
Spring training. I don't hate having him in Omaha as depth at all.
No, I don't think it's a bad way to go. That veteran depth on the 40-man roster.
Can Andrew Hoffman hack it at the big leagues? I don't know. Let's find out, I guess, because we don't got anybody else.
Exactly. But there were 3 guys to land on the IL to talk about. Stephen Kolek officially went to the 15-day IL. Yep, left oblique strain, retroactive to March 22nd, so that does matter. James MacArthur, right elbow inflammation, so that's a little scary, I would say. He's also on the 15-day IL.
During spring training?
I don't recall him pitching at all. I'll double check.
I'm sure he must have thrown in the back games, but yeah, I don't remember seeing him either.
Yeah, I'll check, but I don't think he did.
Dude's got to get healthy.
Yeah.
I need the general back.
Yeah, it's another one of those things, like, I wish him nothing but the best, but we haven't seen him pitch since 2024. Yes, he did not pitch at all in a major league spring training game.
I still believe in James MacArthur.
All right, well, I got to see him back on the active roster again.
What was General MacArthur's actual first name? Do you remember?
Ooh, no, absolutely not. General MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur.
That's right.
It's a very general name, I will say.
Yeah.
And then the other guy to land on the IL, another one that we already knew, Michael Massey, to the 10-day IL with the left calf strain.
I think we assumed it. We didn't technically know it. The Royals had said that he was staying behind in spring training to continue working out in hopes that he would be ready for the big league season, but they didn't know. And obviously he's not. So it shouldn't be a long IL stint. What will be interesting is whether Nick Lofton or Tyler Tolbert is the one to be demoted when he comes back.
Yeah, right. I think that's going to be the
because the Royals did make it clear that Massey would have been on the 26-man roster if he was healthy.
Yeah. So like Jeremy just said, Lofton and Tolbert were the two guys to make it on the bench there for the Royals in their opening day roster. I'm sure you've already seen the opening day roster by now, folks, but if you have not, go check it out on royalsreview.com so you can get that full breakdown and what it all means. Yes, Bobby Witt Jr. did make the opening day roster. Don't worry, he's just fine. All right, Jeremy, we got some time here. You ready for your game?
Do we want to take one more break, or are we going to go straight to the game?
See, look at you. You're keeping me accountable on these breaks.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Hell yeah. Well, you're succeeding. I will say that. All righty, folks, we're going to take our last break.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
Of the podcast, and we will be right back. And we're back on the Royals Rundown podcast presented by Royals Review. All right, Jeremy, you got a brand spanking new game. It's going to be an award winner. We're all going to remember its super memorable name, which is, drumroll,
Royal 2026 Royals Bold Predictions game. I don't know. We'll come up with something better later.
All right.
So here's the game. I've selected 10 players, and I've selected a statistic for each of them. Only one statistic got repeated. I didn't want to just do like home runs for all the hitters. That would be boring. But I did repeat home runs for 2 players because that's what those 2 guys did. I picked the guys I thought were most interesting to talk about a little bit in predictions. And so what I did was, for example, Jack Caglione is on here, and we're going to try and figure out how many home runs he's going to hit. And what we're going to do is, so let's say Jack was first up. Jacob, I'm going to make you go first here. Okay. If we spun the wheel, we get Jack. His stat is home runs. His starting point is 20, and his increments are 5. So if you spun, you got Jack Caglione, you would have the choice of saying, I'm gonna bid 20, I'm gonna bid 25, I'm gonna bid 30, or just 20, 25. And then if you said 25, I could say, all right, I don't want to outbid you. You win that one. Or I could say I go 30 or 35. And then, so the goal here is to win the bid, but have the player eclipse the number. So yes. If I won the bidding at 35, then and Jack hit 36 home runs, I get that point. If Jack hits 34 home runs, you get that point.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
You can't bust. That's the important part.
And what we're gonna do is once we have all these bids in, I'm gonna give Jacob a Google form link that he can provide to everyone in the show notes, and you all can go there and vote basically over or under on all of these stats, and whoever does the best will get a $10 gift card. Visa, Amazon, we'll figure that out when we get there. You have to put your email in, you have to put all your guesses in, you have to give us a name to read out on the podcast, and so that'll be how that works. I'm very excited. We're also going to have a tiebreaker because there are 10 names here. So if we went 5 and 5, or we have multiple people with the same one, we have a tiebreaker of the Royals' total runs scored during the season. And the closest without going over wins, unless everyone goes over, and then just the closest wins. All right.
Sounds good to me.
So spin that wheel, Jacob. Who are we going with first?
All right, who do I have up first? It looks
Cole
like
Reagan.
I got Cole Reagan, our opening day starter, going opposite Chris Sale on Friday night. So for Cole Reagan's, we're looking at his strikeouts with a starting bid of 100.
Yes.
I am
And
absolutely
increments of 10.
Yes, I'm absolutely going to bid 110.
110. All right, I'm going to go 130, baby. I'm not even going to hesitate. 130.
I ain't hesitating to go 150 either.
All right. I'll hit 170. Let's do it.
And I'm hitting 190.
Oh, this is where it gets iffy.
Yep.
Just for the record, last year, where's my form? Last year, Cole Reagans struck out 98 batters. 2 years ago, he set the Royals record for the most strikeouts by a left-handed pitcher, and I don't have that stat pulled up, but I don't think it was 200. I could be wrong.
It had to have been.
Did it have to have been?
I think it had to have been. All right, let's see here.
Let's
Strikeouts
see.
223 in 2024.
So you bid 190, huh?
Yes.
I'm going to go 200.
All right, I am holding.
All right, so I win that bid at 200. I get the point if he strikes out more than 200. You get the point if he strikes out less than 200.
Correct.
All right.
All right.
So go ahead and remove him from the wheel. Let me update this form.
While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and get this spin here. Our team captain, Salvador Perez. Got some new ink thanks to the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, he did. And so his statistic is home runs, and our starting bid is 15, and we decided to do increments of 2. So I can bid 15 or 17. I'll go 17. Why not?
Okay. I will go 21 then.
Okay. I'll go 23. I'll do it.
Okay, I will go 25.
I'll let you have that one.
All right, sounds like a plan. So Salvador Perez,
I think 25 is doable. Meets it, beats it, by the way. So
yeah,
if he gets to 25, you still win the point.
Gotcha.
But I 27 scares me. He can do it. I just don't know that he will. So I'll let you have 25.
Hey,
Salvador Perez's home runs.
I am betting on those fences coming in that he is going to find a few extra dingers in there.
Sure.
And that, he didn't really show up too much in the World Baseball Classic, unfortunately, but he did show up with home runs in Cactus League action. I will say that.
I should have bet 25 just to see if I could get you to lay off or to go even higher.
Don't worry.
That's my mistake.
I set maxes for all of these. Like the max bet that I would take. My max bet for Salvador Perez was 31. I'm very bullish on the veteran in 2026.
All right.
Now, whether that's just hoping or educated, we will find out.
Lucas Urseg.
Yes.
His statistic is ERA. And so this one is one we count down.
Yes.
We're starting a bid of 4.0, and you get increments of 0.1.
All right. I will start at 4.
You'll start at 4?
Yep.
I'll take 3.9.
Okay. I will take 380.
All right. I'll do 3.6. Remember last year he had an ERA of 2.64.
Yes, that he did.
The bid is 3.6 to you, Jacob.
I will take 3.5.
3.5. All right. Yeah, I'll go 3.4. I'll do it.
All right, I'm out.
All right.
That's it for me. All right, so if he is
Do it
better,
for your blood.
if he has an ERA at or lower than 3.4, the point will go to Jeremy. If it's higher, it will go to me.
Watch it be 3.41.
You know what? I will take my wins where I can get them, Jeremy. All right, let's go ahead with the next spin here. Go to the
Carter Jensen.
prospect. I love it. All right. So for Carter Jensen, we have his starts at catcher. That is something that we've talked about a lot this offseason, how he's going to split the workload back there. Starting bid of 50. Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Increments of, I forgot.
So you didn't set increments for this one.
Didn't.
I will say increments of 5.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 sounds good. So we're in agreement. That's my bad.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll do 55.
Okay. I will do 60.
Will I do 65? That's a tough one.
It is.
I wish I could phone a friend here or ask the audience.
Like, who wants to be a
Yeah, I'll do it 65. I think he'll get 65.
All right, I am out. I think Salvi's going to start a lot of games this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, if you'd gone to 70, you'd have had it. I would not have gone that high. Last year, by the way, he had 84 starts at catcher across all levels.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just think he's gonna be in the DH or on the bench a lot more than we might want to admit. But we will see what he does behind the dish.
Bobby Witt Jr., this one's fun.
Yes,
This is extra base hits, increments of 5. Our starting bid is 60. Last year, he hit, where did I put it? He hit 76 extra base hits, and of course, he had more in 2024. So I believe that this first bid goes to you, Jacob.
Okay.
I think it's your turn.
I'll start off with 60 here. You're good.
60?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll go 70.
Okay. Well, you know what? I will answer that aggressive bid with 80.
Yeah, I can't outbid you there. I think it's going to be between 80 and 85 probably. So that one that was smart bidding on your part. Maybe I shouldn't have been quite so aggressive.
Had to pony up. All right, so it got me down 480 right there on Bobby Witt Jr. I will be interested to see how the listeners respond to this, because these are some doozies.
And by the way, we will be leaving that form open until we record on Sunday evening.
Ooh, yeah.
So you have the whole weekend to get in on this.
Yes.
Watch a couple games. Because we'll record probably immediately following the third game is usually how we do it, the Sunday afternoon games. So
yep,
get in there.
Please do.
Meanwhile, you've spun the wheel. Our next guy up is Chris Bubich.
Yes.
And this is when I was getting a little fancy. His strikeout minus walk percentage, increments of 0.5% going up. Yes, because it's strikeouts minus. Starting bid at 15%, and I'll go 15.5. Okay. Last year he did 16.2.
Yep. And I will go up to 16.
Yeah, I'll go 16.5.
Okay. I will go ahead and bow out after that there, Jeremy, because he does have, I will say his career number is very nice. His career number would say, yes, a better Chris Bubich would have a good strikeout to walk ratio. However, his best numbers came in 23-24 when he was not a full-time starter.
Yeah, I think where I'm coming from is that, yeah, his numbers were 16.2% last year, but I think that they would have been higher, but he got hurt and he was walking some guys right in those last couple of starts. So if he stays healthy all year, which is what I'm betting on here, then those numbers the numbers will look better, I think. But we'll have to see.
That we will. All right, let me get over here. Spin this wheel again. We
Four
got
more
four
guys.
more. Yes.
All right, Carlos Estevez. This is a tricky one, buddy.
Yes.
This is a tricky one. And let's see. We are starting bid of 15 saves because we're both a little concerned about how he's looking so far this spring. His velocity was not up in his final relief appearance at Texas. And we're doing increments of 3, so you have to bid at least 15. You don't get a choice.
Dadgummit. I will take it up to 18.
Will you? All right.
Yes.
Yeah, why not? I'll do 21. Sure.
All right, I'm making this quick. I'm bowing out.
I wouldn't have gone any higher than that either. If you'd gone 15, I'd have gone 18, and I'd have stayed there. But 20, he did 42 last year.
He did.
The save is not necessarily a thing of hey, you actually pitched really well. It can be just you got a lot of opportunities. And I do think he's going to get a bunch of opportunities before they give up on him. I could be wrong. So. They do have Lucas Erceg and Matt Strom that they can call on pretty quickly if things are looking dicey with Estevez. We'll have to see. I'm this is maybe wish casting as much as anything else. This is probably a bad bid on my part, but I want to believe that he's going to be okay because of the anime. He has the power of God and anime on his side, Jacob.
Hiya.
Jack Caglione. So this is this is how I started this whole thing. Is I wanted to bid on Jack Caglione's home runs. I thought that would be a fun way to handle things. So I'm interested to see how high we can get this number, Jacob. Starting bid of 20. We're doing increments of 5 home runs at a time for Jack Caglione. We're either gonna not get very far, or we're gonna get very big. I'm gonna start with 25.
All right, I will take it up to 30.
Okay, I'll go. Gosh, I shouldn't do it. 35. I'm doing it.
Can't do it. I can't do 40.
Gosh,
it's there. The potential is there.
I told myself before we started I would go to 40, but then I got cold feet when we got here, so I said 35.
Hey, man.
I will take. I still think 40 is very possible. He had 27 last year across all levels while he was not hitting very well in the big leagues for half of that season. I mean, the dude was awful, and he hit 7 dingers.
Yeah. It was really
and he
bad.
looks so much better this year in spring and in the WBC. And the lineup is going to not require. I keep saying this until I'm blue in the face, and then a few more times that I think several Royals hitters suffered from the pressure and believing that they had to be the guy to hit the 5-run home run. And I
understand.
I think he had some of that going for him as well.
Yeah, he probably did. All right, we got 2 more on the wheel here. Let's see where I start off with. Okay, Michael Garcia. And we're looking at his batting average here.
I didn't give anyone stolen bases. That's a my bad.
Nah, that's fine.
Michael Garcia's batting average, starting bid of 230. So you have to bid at least 230, and your increments are 10 points of batting average.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and take this on up to 240.
All right, I'm going to do 250.
Okay. I will take it up to 270.
And I'll take it to 280.
Ooh, I am out on that.
Yes.
And you know what? I think that might be a steal for you there, Jeremy.
Yeah, that was my strategy. That's why I did the 1 early on so that I could be the guy to hit 280.
Smart man.
That was the sweet spot, I thought, of where you would stop and I could be the guy, and I think he's going to do better than 280. I'm going to end up being the leader on most of these bids, and I don't know what that says about your pessimism or my optimism or any of this stuff. Hang on, I got to write this down or I'm going to forget it.
Sorry. It was I just wanted to get the little spin out of the way because we only got 1 name left on this wheel
I
here.
mean, you didn't have to spin it really because we're just using it as a randomizer. The answer is Vinny Pasquantino, and we're doing RBIs. You want to tell me how many RBIs is the starting bid and what our increment is?
Yep, so the starting bid is at 80, and we're going up increments of 3 here. So you could take it at 80 or go up to 83.
Yeah, I'll go 83.
Okay. I'm going to take it up 6. I'm going to take it up to 89.
All right, I'll go 95.
Okay, I'm going to take it up 6 again with 101.
I mean, how many did he have last year? I wrote it down. If I can find it. He had 113 last year, and you're at 105, you said?
I'm at 101.
101, that's right. My hearing is bad. 101. I will go 104.
Okay, I will go 107.
I wanna go higher, but I also don't want my name to be the only one on this sheet, so I will let you have 107.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. Maybe I'm just too conservative when it comes to this. See, this is probably why I'm a bad sports bettor, huh?
I don't know, conservatism is probably the way to win sports bets.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I had an epiphany while I was writing the annual, How the Royals Will Make the Playoffs article, earlier this week that one of the reasons managers all look bad at running bullpens is because running a bullpen is essentially running a parlay bet.
I like that.
A parlay bet, for those of you who are not aware, is a bet where you bet on multiple things to happen, and they all have to happen to win the bet. So, for example, I could have a parlay where I say Bobby Witt Jr. is going to have a hit, Michael Garcia is going to have a hit, and Vinny Pasquantino is going to have a hit. And they all three have to have a hit, or else I lose my money. And you can go, well, I feel like it's pretty likely that they'll each have a hit, and that's true. But how likely is it that they'll all three have a hit? That's
Exactly.
why sports betting companies love a parlay. They advertise all the parlays. And that's basically what a bullpen is, especially in the modern era. You're not calling on Dan Quisenberry in the 7th inning and being like, "Are you good today?" for 3 innings. You're saying, "Lucas Erceg, are you good today?" And John Schreiber, "Are you good today?" And Matt Strom, "Are you good today?" And Carlos Estevez, "Are you good today?" You have to win all
Yeah.
4 legs of your bet. That's why no manager looks good at a bullpen, because they're betting against the house.
Yep, that they are. And those other guys with the bats in their hands, they get paid a lot of money too to hit those balls over the fence.
And why didn't Ned Yost look so good at running a bullpen? Because he had 3 surefire bets
Yep.
every night. He wasn't betting, he wasn't doing a parlay, he was doing a single bet in the 6th inning.
Yep. That he was.
Do you have it today, Aaron Crow, or do you have it today, Franklin Morales? And when you're betting on
often
Aaron
enough.
Crow, that's a losing bet too often, unfortunately. But Franklin Morales was a winning bet
Yeah.
often enough.
That he was. All right, we do have one other tiebreaker to get here.
Yes, the total runs.
Yes.
And last year, again, this is closest without going over, unless we
Yes.
both go over, then just the closest. Last year, they scored 651 runs. This is not a bid. This is just a straight up say your number.
All right, Jeremy, I would like you to start off here.
All right, I'm going 750.
All right. Well, then I'm the pessimistic one here, and I'm going 720.
Do you know how much smarter you would be to go 751 Price is Right rules?
No, I don't think they're going to get over 750.
All right, so I'll add that to 750. I did 750, you did 720. Last year they scored 651, so I think they can score 100 more runs this year.
That would be absolutely.
That was how I got to that number.
incredible.
I said 100 more runs. Let's do it, baby.
There you go. Alrighty, folks. Well, Jeremy's going to put together that Google form. We're going to drop that link down in the podcast description below so you can play along with us and get a chance at that Visa gift card. So we do appreciate Jeremy putting this together, putting in all the work behind the scenes to make it happen. And yeah, just toss your hat in the ring and get along with it. Now, Jeremy.
That was just as an initial reaction. That was as fun as I had hoped without dragging on as long as I had feared.
Absolutely.
I felt like we had a reasonable amount of strategy with the multiple kinds of bidding we could do.
Yeah.
I'm excited about how that went. We'll see how the if I successfully guessed the numbers correctly.
Yeah.
And then we'll maybe I have ideas for next year. Instead of picking the stats and all this stuff ahead of time, we have a randomizer with the names and a randomizer with the stats and a randomizer with the numbers and the increments and all that stuff too. So
Jeez Louise.
it would be, you would hit some duds.
Yeah.
Like, I have to bid 80 home runs. That doesn't feel good.
No.
But I don't know. It could be fun. It's something to think about for next year.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're trying to build something here, so make sure you subscribe or follow wherever you're listening at so you don't miss another episode from us. All right, Jeremy, I got to admit something, man. I want to skip reviews today because we got baseball to watch, and I really want to watch some baseball.
All right. I've got a movie I'm dying to talk about, but I'll save it for next time.
Well, can you make it quick?
No.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm being honest with you. I could tell you I would make it quick, but have I ever made one of these quick?
No, you have not. Remember when I tried to put you on a timer? I was like, okay, 2 minutes for your review.
I did it like 6 minutes. That was probably the longest one I ever did.
Yeah, one of them at least. But yes, please go and keep that in the hopper because I'm very excited to go watch some baseball, and I'm sure all y'all out there listening are as well. Just a reminder, go check out the article on RoyalsReview.com so you know where to watch or where to listen to the Boys in Blue before they kick off the season down in Atlanta against the Braves. It's going to be a good one. I'm really fired up for this season. Jeremy, are you?
I was so excited. I watched Yankees and Giants on Netflix, Jacob.
We finally have baseball that matters back. That's what really matters.
I in lieu of a review, I will really quickly say we got to watch out for Bobby, buddy. Because the Team USA curse. Not only we already talked about Aaron Judge had the golden sombrero, but Logan Webb did not have a good opening day. Paul Skeens didn't make it out of the first inning.
Nope.
I mean, he had some help from O'Neal Cruz in center field, but he also had 3 walks.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, the 2 other hits he gave up weren't great hit balls, but that's 3 walks in the first inning.
Yeah. So, alrighty, folks, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here and go watch some baseball. So make sure you just tune in next time. We're going to be recording on Sunday evening. We're going to have the first series in the books to talk about, but with the Braves, super, super hyped for this year ahead. 162 games to go. I'm Jacob Milham. They're Jeremy Greco. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, go Royals.
And
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.
Real talk. There's a lemon-shaped toy making women text their friends at 2 a.m. screaming, "You have to get this." Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7-star rating, people call it toe-curling and mind-blowing. That's exactly why it's all over social media. Don't let the cute design fool you. With 12 intensities, Lem is waterproof, whisper quiet, and incredibly discreet. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand. Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7-star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.